Let's begin. So, Cape Mod, octopus at the window. Dream one. Taking notes on my dreams, and I thought, why not document my dream journey? Like many people, we have so many dreams, and some of them make sense, some of them don't. A lot of my dreams don't, if I'm being very honest. But I want to document them. And I don't know if this audio is going to work out. This is new. This is all very new to me. I have my mic here that I realized I never picked up. So maybe I should pick it up. Maybe I should use it, you know, to actually speak to you. But yes, welcome to Night Letters number 1. So I've had this dream last year. So a minute ago, it was a good minute ago, about a year ago. And it was, of course, around the time I was still working, or maybe right after I left my job, and I had this dream. It was before we knew who our president was going to be. It was in that space where everyone was confused. Every day there was more confusion, and I don't think that has changed much in terms of when you look at the world. There's a lot of confusion, and this dream brought more confusion right to my window. It started with me wanting to take a trip to Cape Mod. I know there's a place called Cape Cod, but I went to Cape Mod. And Cape Mod was a place that I quite didn't understand. And I kind of still don't, but I feel like I got a little bit closer. I went to this place, and when I got off of the plane, I realized the place that I was headed was a beach house right next to the airport. And when I mean right next to the airport, I mean like I can run to the airport and run back to the beach house. That's how close it was in the dream. And I was on this trip on my own. And as soon as I got to the house, I realized I wasn't on my own. My family showed up. My mom, my husband, his sister, showed up randomly, and one said, "I'm here and I spent my last." And although I love my family and I should have been very excited, it brought so much anxiety. I was so anxious the whole time, mainly because when I first booked this trip, I did not book a return flight. I just booked one going in this dream. But their presence made me realize, like, oh wait, I need to book a return flight for everyone. And that was the hardest quest ever in this dream. It was the hardest quest ever, trying to book a return flight. Trying to get home. Nothing made sense. When I would look online, it wouldn't work. The internet would go out, it wouldn't load things, or when I would look it up, there was no flights anywhere. And the map looked different. Everything was different. Everything was all over the place. And the whole time that I was anxiously trying to find our way home, I kept looking out at the beach going, wow, I can't wait to experience that. wow, I can't wait to go in the water. Wow, I can't wait to sit by the beach and just soak up the sun. And after that panic, I remember being back in the beach house with my family, and I was looking out the window at the beach, and an octopus appeared. An octopus appeared. Just like that. And it looked at me, it freaked me out, and it started to move closer to me. And it phased through the window and the walls and it just kept coming at me. And I ran. I ran away. I ran. And I ran out of the beach house to the airport. And as soon as I got to the airport, it was empty. It was so empty. No one was in there except for me. And I'm trying to find someone to help me find this return flight. And as I'm looking around and I'm looking, I see Secret Service entering the airport from the main door. And I was like, what do they want with me? And then I see our current president appear right behind them. And in that moment, I was very confused. I was also very scared. I didn't know what they wanted from me. But they just stood by the door, just dominant and intimidating. And I felt so scared, more scared than I already was. And then when I looked at where, you know how in airports they have where the people help you, so like where you check in, I looked over there. Of course, no one was in line, but they still had those like things set up for lines. And I looked over there and it was one person, one lady there. And I walked up to the desk and I said, I need help. I need help. I need to find, and I need to find a way home. And she was like, yes, of course. Let me help you. What's your name? And I told her Kate. I still don't understand why I gave her Kate. My name is not Kate. My name is Kayla. I go by Echo sometimes, or Dior, but my name is Kayla. But she asked for my name and I said Kate. That is still a clue I haven't figured out. And she asked me, how many return flights do you need? And I said 3. But there was 4 of us. But I said 3. And after, she said, you're all set. And I turn around and our current president is right behind me. And he puts his hand on my shoulder and says, come follow me. And I walk with him. Shocked. Shocker. I walk with him outside, and in front of the airport is a car. It's a yellow car, big car, kind of like a G-Wagon. And we get inside and we drive off. And I got in the car with our current president and drove off. And you would think that'd be the end, but it wasn't. It was the beginning. I turned back around to where the current president was seated next to me, and it's not him anymore. It's my husband. You know, we love how dreams kind of confuse us all. And I look at him, he looks at me, and I realize when I look past him, I'm looking out the window and I'm like, I'm finally exploring I'm finally looking around and I'm taking in the environment that I'm in. I'm taking in Cape Mod, finally, for the first time. And then the car stops. And we end up in front of this Muay Thai training gym. We both get out the car and we both walk inside. And that was the end of the dream. A dream that I have never forgotten since I've had it. A dream I've talked about many a times to different people, specifically more so my family. I think I might have mentioned it in an earlier video I did on this channel when I was trying to do, not really do tarot, but kind of do tarot, but just like mess around with cards, I guess, because I found it fun, just looking at them, seeing what comes up. But it never left me. It just sat in this liminal space in my mind, just floating. And then a whole year later, it's like I've lived out my dream. The symbols of my dream. The little like threads of my dream. When I had that dream, I was in New York City. I was in New York City. I just left my job, like I said, and I was constantly wanting to find quiet. Searching for it, living for it, breathing for quiet, waiting for it just to hit just right, silence, you know? And I'd get close a few times, but it would not last long enough. And in the dream, I was seeking the same thing. It's why you go on a solo trip. It isn't just to explore, but it is for a bit of silence, a bit of solitude. And when I got there, it wasn't quiet. Everything came with me. Everything came with me. You can't escape what you are. And the people in your life reflect what and who you are. And it's neither bad nor good, it's just true. And I saw that. Me wanting to take care and fix and doing those things brought me so much anxiety. And in that split moment, I looked at the beach and I said, but what if I could be there? What if I can have peace? What if I can let it all go? So now I am alone. And I don't say that in a bad way. I don't say that as a negative thing. And I don't say it to say that being surrounded with people you love is bad, because it surely isn't, and I love them very, very much. But I'm alone. And at first, they came right with me. And my whole heart and my being and my soul, I see them. I breathe them. Coded in my DNA. They show up every time I want to do something that I'm like, maybe I shouldn't, because like, what would they think? They show up every time I'm like, I'm gonna do something that might be risky and I know they're not gonna like it. They show up every time I get a little bit closer to myself. And it's not because they do it on purpose, it's because I push them to be there in my own mind. And I become the caregiver, the fixer, the wanting to get everything right. Not once in my dream did I ask, can you help me? No, I said, I got it, I'm gonna do it, I got you, don't worry, I got you. And yeah. And then the octopus appeared, scary. Gray and ember, hollow eyes, chasing me. The octopus. Now, do I know exactly what an octopus symbolizes at the top of my head? No. But did I write it down? Yes, I did. And the octopus, just so I can understand my dream better, was my unconscious. It broke through, it went through the walls, and it wasn't outside of me. It's the part that exists inside, breaking in. Trying to reclaim my attention. It appeared when I was looking and I said, I want to be over there. And the octopus started to walk towards me like, are you sure? Because I could take you there. But I ran away. Because it was too scary. And in reality, very true. When there was moments of quiet, I ran away anytime. Even before I was here, there was opportunities for silence, but I'd run away. And running away looks different each time. Sometimes it's knowing that I just want a moment to myself, but I answer the phone. Or I open the door. Or I put on a show or a YouTube video when I know I just want to sit there in silence. I ignore parts of myself because I feel that it would be a little bit overwhelming if I just sat in it. If I just sat here and nothing happened, it would be a waste of time. And in reality, it probably wouldn't be. But that's what I tell myself. Nothing good would happen if I just sit in silence. It's just going to be more silence. You know? Or sometimes, you know, you think that if you sit in silence, you'll hear something. You know, like those ancient stories when you sit in silence and you talk about how, like, then you heard a voice and the voice spoke to you. And maybe that happens to people. I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm not them. But I've never heard a voice clear as day. But what I will tell you is at this moment, as I live out, I believe, a part of my dream, something's speaking to me. And maybe it's my own voice. Or maybe it's the world around me. And it's always speaking to me. It never stopped. Even when I do answer the phone and I want silence, there's a message there. Because I felt it. I knew exactly what I wanted. I just chose something else. Or maybe the message is in every bug I see that crawls towards me and I go, oh my God, no. Telling me like, what's so wrong with me? What's so wrong with this annoying pest that appears? It's no different than you. Maybe it's a little nasty, a little ugly, a little scary. I ain't saying we have to be best friends. But it's no different than me. I realized a lot that in silence, that what I run away from, I am. And that's okay. That's okay. It can all exist at the same time. So the dream appears. And it appeared again in my head while I was seated here in this new place, in this new environment, in my new home. And it's just me. And in a week or two, more like in 20 days, I would say, I will be on a beach, looking out at the water, alone. With no distractions, and no one joining me, just me. And I said to myself, wow, I didn't run away this time. I let the octopus run after me and hug me with all 8 of its slimy legs. And a kind of whole small part of me hopes that while I'm out there, I don't see an 8-legged octopus, because although I'm learning to let the universe speak to me, the language it speaks sometimes still scares me. The octopus at my window. Really did become the only thing I see. So that was for today. And I'm gonna keep looking at these clues, you know, of my dreams, and I thought I'd document it and put it somewhere. Capture it in a photo and solidify it in a video. So yeah, let's see what happens. Thank you.